A lot of folks out there asking some questions about jazz theory, and I heard the call, and I'm here to answer some of your very biggest questions. And today it's all about 2-5-1s in minor. I'm Brenda Earle Stokes. I'm the owner and creator of Piano and Voice with Brenda, creative and practical online resources for pianists, vocalists, and music teachers. In last week's video, we talked all about the 2-5-1 progression in major, and I showed you where the chords come from, how to locate them in songs, and how to practice them. Today is all about the 2-5-1 progression in minor. The good news is that the basic bones of the 2-5-1 progression are going to be the same in major and in minor. And this is because of the interval structure. So if we're in the key of A, then the 2 is going to be a B. If we're in the key of C, the 2 is going to be a D. And so all of this information is going to be very much the same, but there are a few alterations to the chords. Now you might say, well, if we're playing a progression in minor, which minor are we using? Is it natural minor? Nope. Is it melodic minor? Nope. Is it harmonic minor? Yes. We are going to be using the harmonic minor scale to find out the chords in the 2-5-1 progression in minor. The harmonic minor scale is the choice that we're going to use for several reasons, but I do want to point out that since it's called the harmonic minor scale, can you notice that the word harmony is kind of hidden in there? So that's why it's going to be the one that we use. So remember that a lot of the terminology is going to be the same, and really what's different about jazz theory is the way that we conceptualize some of it and some of the choices that we use. Most of the fundamentals are going to be the same. A dominant chord is going to resolve to a tonic chord in jazz or in classical music, except when it doesn't. Once again, I want to remind you that jazz theory does often feel like a hairy monster, but it's really not. A lot of the terms that we use in Western classical theory, we use in jazz because, again, when these things were being named, a lot of them were being named in a classical way by people who had some semblance of classical training, and unfortunately or fortunately, that's kind of the dominant way we speak of Western music at this point in history anyways. At the 2-5-1 in minor, okay? And we're going to do exactly the same protocol as we did before, and that is we are going to play up the scale. And this time, remember, we're using the harmonic minor scale, okay? And the harmonic minor scale is the same thing as the C major scale. It's the same key signature, but what it has is a raised seventh, okay? Now, these are the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. These are the notes that we're going to use to draw from to decide how we're going to harmonize and essentially find out what the notes are, okay, for the 2-5-1 progression. So we're going to do our usual thing. We're going to do our stacks of thirds. Now, this is correct. Now we've got to raise the G sharp here, right? Exactly. And then we'll stack our thirds up here. And then we'll stack our thirds up here. Don't forget the G sharp, okay? This one, same thing. And what I'm going to do while I'm at it is I'm going to add the courtesy accidentals here just so you can see where all of the, there we go, where all of the courtesy accidentals are. You can see that so you can see the G sharp where it is. And then we're going to do what we did before, and that is we are going to name the chords, okay? And first of all, it's A minor major 7 is the first one. Then it's B minor 7 flat 5. Then it's C major 7 sharp 5, okay, because it's got the G sharp in it. Then it's D minor 7. Then it's E7. Then it's F major 7. and then it's G sharp diminished 7, okay? And then we go back to A minor major 7. Oops. All right. Now, what's interesting to note on this E7 chord is what extensions are we going to use, right? Because that's sometimes the question of like, well, which extensions? And for the 5 chord in minor, which is the E7, that is going to matter. So I'm going to show that to you in a second. What we're going to do as far as the 2-5-1, and remember, we're going to collect it the same way. We've got the 2 chord here, and so the 2 chord is B minor 7 flat 5, okay? And the 5 chord is E7. But the E7 doesn't tell us enough of the story. So I'm actually going to take you up a little bit further. So this is 1, 3, 5, 7, then the 9, and then we're going to go up to the 13th as well. Here we go. So this is an important thing to know about the dominant chord in minor. So we've got B minor 7 flat 5 here, and then we've got this E7 that has some alterations in it, and you might have heard, you know, E7 alt or E7 whatever. The 5 chord in minor really needs to be this. It's E7 flat 9 flat 13. And so the dominant chord in minor is generally speaking going to have a flat 9 and a flat 13 in it. Okay, that's something that is really important for you to know. Sometimes you'll see a sharp 9, sometimes you'll see variations on it, but my rule of thumb is if you see it's a 2-5-1 in minor, just assume the 5 has a flat 9, a flat 13, or both. Okay, and then we're going to go back to A minor major 7. Okay, that's got the G sharp on it. So I'm going to put that courtesy accidental on it, okay, just so you can see it. And then the next piece of the puzzle here is, right, we're going to A minor major 7, right? That's what that is. Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to do is, you got it, we're going to play A minor 6. Now, technically, A minor 6 doesn't exist because this has an F sharp in it and there's no F sharp in here, but A minor major 7 and A minor 6 function the same way, and so therefore it's a great way to practice it. Okay, so our 2-5-1 in minor is B minor 7 flat 5, E7 flat 9 flat 13, A minor major 7, and A minor 6. So now that you've learned this information in the key of A minor, I'm going to show you how you can play this on the piano. So once again, your left hand is going to play the root of the chord. It's simulating the bass player. And your right hand is going to play the chord in root position. So there's B minor 7 flat 5. There's E7. Okay. And we're getting sort of our garden variety E7 here. So what you could do instead, right? It sort of implied this flat 9, flat 13. So if you wanted to play it this way, okay, 1, 3, 5, 7, flat 9, flat 13. That's the whole chord. Okay, so let's try that. B minor 7, flat 5, then you can play the whole chord here, right? Flat 9, flat 13, and then A minor major 7 to A minor 6. Remember, because A minor has these same 3 notes, A minor major 7, A minor 6, the chord functions the same. It's just these 2 notes are a little bit different, okay? And I voice lead this, okay, the 2-5-1 progression. And this is going to be a little bit tricky because for the E7, we're really going to want to hear the extension. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to start with B minor 7. Okay, now in order for us to get to the E7 flat 9, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to play, that's the 5, this is the 7, this is flat 9, okay, and then you're going to play the 3rd. So this particular representation here doesn't have the whole chord, okay? What you're doing instead is you're only playing the 5th, the 7th, the flat 9, and the 3rd, with the assumption that your left hand is going to be playing the root. Okay, so this is a great way to practice the voice leading. Okay, and then you're going to go back down to the A minor major 7. Okay, and then the A minor 6. And I'm going to, Yeah. I'm going to give you the courtesy accidental, just so you don't forget that it's there. And then here is our beautifully, perfectly voice-led B minor 7, E7 flat 9, A minor major 7, and A minor 6 that you can voice lead. Remember, your left hand is playing the bass note, okay, the root of the chord, and so you will be able to hear the E on this, but you'll also have a chance to hear the flat 9. So now we're going to have a look at this with the voice leading, okay? So you're going to start with a root position, B minor 7 flat 5, and then we're going to voice lead our way to this, okay? This is the E7. This is 5, 7, flat 9, and 3, okay? So it's an inversion of this so that you can cover all of the main chord tones. It's just your right hand isn't doubling the root. And then A minor 7, A minor major 7, and then A minor 6, okay? So you can practice that through the keys. A minor 7, flat 5, A7, flat 9, flat 13, and then D minor major 7, D minor 6. Once again, one of the reasons that we study harmony is so that we can decode the music in front of us. And right now we're going to take a moment and have a look and see if we can locate some of these 2-5-1s in a couple of very famous jazz standards. So we're going to have a look at a couple of jazz standards that are in minor so we can start to locate some of these 2-5-1s. Blue Bossa, a very, very famous piece by Kenny Dorham as played by Joe Henderson, and we're going to have a little peek through here, okay? So right here you can see it's D minor 7 flat 5. Okay, and then look, we've got a G7 and then we've got C minor 6. So right here it's a 2, 5, and a 1. Now you see there's a C minor 6 here, right? But what else could you put here? You could put C minor major 7 to C minor 6, or vice versa, C minor 6 to C minor major 7 if you wanted to. Now one thing I want to kind of point out here is that this G7 has a flat 5, or a sharp 5 and a sharp 9, okay? The sharp 5 is another way of saying flat 13. This particular book likes to do that, but you could play a flat 13. This one you could choose whether you wanted to play a sharp 9 or a flat 9. Doesn't really make a difference. The reason it says sharp 9 is because the sharp 9 is in the melody. And then I know you're noticing this below. Look, there's a 2-5-1 in major, okay? So let's have a look at another song. This is Alone Together. And this is another really terrific jazz standard that sadly was edited out of the 6th edition book that everybody has. So you have to find the 5th edition if you want to get this particular lead sheet on it. And so we start out, we're in the key of D minor. We've got a D minor here. And what could you put on this D minor? Are you supposed to just play a triad, or maybe you should play a D minor major 7 or a D minor 6? Either of those will work. And then you've got a 2 and a 5 to 1 here. Okay. Now you can see it says A7 flat 9, but you could add a flat 13 to that, right? We know that either or of those will work great, okay? Then you've got the same thing here. Resolving to a D minor could become a D minor major 7 or a D minor 6, okay? And then going on, A minor 7 flat 5 to D7 flat 9, okay, which you could put a flat 13 on there as well if you like. And then it goes to G minor. And this one could be G minor major 7 or G minor 6. Okay, I'm going to show you one more. And this is our good old standby here, Autumn Leaves. Autumn Leaves is great because it hangs out in major and then it goes to its relative minor. So right here is where you can spy A minor 7 flat 5. We've got a D7 here. And what would you put on this? Probably flat 9, flat 13, right? Except when you're playing the melody because there's a clash. But if you're just improvising or comping on this, you could put a flat 9 and a flat 13. And then we've got G minor, and you could play G minor major 7 to G minor 6. Okay, so now you can see how this works in a variety of different songs. And the more you look for these, the more you will find them. So how should you practice this? Well, first of all, you should practice your minor 2-5-1s in all 12 keys, and you should practice them in a variety of ways. Via the circle of fifths, going the sharp way, which is clockwise, or the flat way, which is counterclockwise. You should also practice them up and down by half steps. You could practice them down by whole steps. You could practice them just randomly until you can play them with confidence in both root position and with the voice leading that I showed you a few minutes ago. And then it's just a matter of plugging those into songs as you see them. It's always a good idea to do a little bit of chord analysis before you start playing a song if you happen to have some time to look at it, because that's going to get you really confident looking to see what you're looking at. And so you're not just playing chord to chord and bar to bar. You can kind of see the broader brush strokes. Also, it's a great thing to do to transcribe little fragments of solos by the great jazz masters to see what did they play on 2-5-1s. Then you could take those patterns and practice them through all 12 keys. So I hope that this has made your understanding of jazz theory just that much easier. If you want to learn more about jazz or jazz piano, check out my online course. It's called Jazz Piano Accompaniment, and it's where I show you literally everything you need to know to play authentic jazz piano. Everything from chords to voicings, different voicing strategies, to comping figures, to walking bass line, to how to get started improvising. It's really fun, it's really easy to use, and I have hundreds of students all over the world who are playing jazz because they took this course. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment below to let me know what you liked. Let me know if you have requests for other videos. And also, it helps me so much if you could subscribe to my channel. This helps more eyes to get on my work. I've left links to everything in the description box below. You can check it out. You can also go to my website, pianoandvoicewithbrenda.com, to learn more about me and to get all kinds of free resources. Thank you so much for watching.